turned up. I woke up in a new Bugatti. I woke up in a new Bugatti.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Compatible Cinema, another episode of Horror Spotlight. Today we're going to be talking about Alien Romulus. Here joining me is my beautiful boyfriend once again, Austin. Hello, baby.
Hello. How are you?
Hello. Today we're going to be talking about Alien Romulus. And some things that we have problems with, some things we don't have problems with. Just overall, just thoughts on the movie. It won't be too long. Going into this movie, I'm a huge Alien fan. Like Alien, the first movie, is like my favorite movie of all time. Favorite horror movie. It's like my favorite movie of all time. Is all I can say. Like I love that movie. And in the franchise, as good or as bad as I can get, is one of my favorite franchises. Just for the Xenomorph and Ellen Ripley alone, two of the greatest things to ever be created in fiction. So yeah, like I really love Alien, and Alien's gotten a pretty rough name for itself the past decade. Even before that, way before that, the past maybe 25 years, Alien has been in a weird place of just like, we'll get a movie here and there, but it's shit. Starting with 4, which I do not like 4 at all. 3 has the director's cut of 3 has redeeming parts, but 4 I don't like that movie at all. Or Alien vs Predator 1 and 2, even though I can enjoy those movies for what they are, and there's some really cool moments in those movies. Like as much as people shit on those movies, there's really really cool moments in them. Yeah. And then Prometheus.
But they also killed both franchises in a way. No, Aliens. I think Aliens. It took Aliens out for a while because Predator kept going with Rodriguez's stuff and the other stuff.
A soft reboot a few years.
Yeah.
3 years after.
But Alien definitely took a hit. Alien took a hit from that, and also too, Alien had just come off those terrible sequels of 4 and 3 and stuff, and so
yeah, Aliens has always been. It's always been like that. Predator, I think, had Predator kind of did the same thing, but it only had 2 movies before AVP.
Yeah,
it only had 2 movies before that.
See, I'm always going to have gripes with Aliens versus Predator, no matter what, because had we not gotten those, we would have gotten James Cameron writing and Ridley Scott directing a new Aliens film. I mean,
there's so many Alien films we could have gotten. There's so many Alien films we could have gotten in the past like 25, 30 years. I mean, we can go on that one. But that's a whole other stream on itself of like unmade Alien films. And Predator. There's been a lot of Predator movies too that were not made. It goes for any franchise. Halloween, Nightmare. There's a bunch of unmade movies. But yeah, Alien Romulus, I was super hyped for, especially after Covenant. Because Covenant is good. Like I like Covenant as an enjoyable, stupid little sci-fi movie. I love the cinematography of it. I love the music of it. I think it's an okay movie. Is it not how I want my Alien movies to be like a little bit? Did Ridley go too far and didn't execute precisely? Yeah, for me. But as much as I have problems with Prometheus and Covenant, I think Prometheus is the stronger one, by the way. It's a much better movie. Should have just been on its own, to be honest. I prefer that. But there's stuff about Covenant I like and stuff I do not like at all. So yeah, like I wanted those movies to have an arc. I wanted it to be done. As much as I didn't or did like them, I wanted some finality. I wanted a completion to that. Because just the way my brain works and my OCD works, I'm like, I need to see it. As much as the answers are out there, I mean, you could look it up right now and find every answer you need, explaining those 2 movies and what would have probably been the third one, coming from Ridley himself most of the time. So yeah, going into this movie, I had a lot of high hopes for. Like I was super hyped. he can tell you himself. Like this was my
I was
most
pretty hyped. I was pretty hyped. I was very much,
yeah. This was my number one this year. Like this was my number one this year because like that's how huge I love Alien. I won't lie. I was a bit disappointed with this movie. A bit disappointed. I thought Alien Romulus was good. I really expected it to be something that surpassed maybe even, some of the other films, which it did. But if I'm comparing it to a lot of the other films, I think the other films are more graphic, in my opinion. This is not as graphic as I want it to be, or as I thought it was going to be, because Fede Alvarez directed this, which I love Fede Alvarez. I fucking love Evil Dead. I fucking love Don't Breathe. I love everything he's done. He's a fantastic director, and as a horror fan, like he's, sign him on to do anything, and I'm fucking in. I'm in, and he's the best part of this movie. Directing, phenomenal. The cinematography, I don't know the cinematographer's name, so forgive me. He did a great job. Soundtrack, amazing. Set design, costume design. The practical effects.
It definitely
amazing
felt
stuff.
It was a callback to the first two Aliens and felt very, very well done in the design and how it was like, there are shots even that it feels like it's the 80s Alien, type quality and stuff. And so, which I thought that was cool at certain points. So definitely they paid very close attention to those first two films and brought us back to that environment, that world, that the game too. That's the thing. Those first three, really are that kind of claustrophobic. You're in these tight spaces, and you're a ship or whatever, right? And so back to that kind of environment too. Whereas Prometheus and Covenant, we'd been exploring and having these really big, large landscapes and spaces and all this type of stuff. And it was a great callback in that sense. Yeah, that was a great homage for sure.
No, and like it might be a downfall of the movie even, which is a good
times.
At times, because like there was times in the movie where I was just so like looking around at everything, looking how beautiful it looks, like stuff from the game that I was like geeking out over because I love that Alien Isolation. I played it like a dozen fucking times,
right?
Like, I know it like the back of my hand. So seeing everything from the games, like the set designs for the movies and stuff like that, it like really jarred me because I'm like, wow, like I feel like I'm watching the original films, and how they how Alien should feel. This is how I want Alien to look like, and it should feel for me. Just everything was perfect in regards to that. I think the weakest part of the movie was some of the writing.
Definitely some of the writing, some of the execution. I think for me, some of my biggest complaints were, I do agree that there is, and I don't know if this was Freddie. Again, I agree with you completely. I think Freddie did a phenomenal job directing and stuff, and I always like his work. But even this felt very held back for him in a lot of ways and stuff, and a lot of things just I didn't. I don't know that I thought he did so much better with Evil Dead, and I don't know if he had more freedom with Evil Dead or what. But just
not owned by Disney.
True. I mean, like the thing about this was like there were so many times in the movie where it's like, okay, you're balancing the homage thing and you're just copying the originals. The
I didn't
straight up taking certain things and stuff.
But that's
I've talked about this. I mean, yeah, but I think it was but this was a bit overdone for me because, like I said, and also a big issue too for me is that every one of these Alien movies has to have a copy of Ripley when it's not Ripley, and so little things like that. I think for the most part, it was interesting. I know some people kind of likened it to like Rogue One of the Star Wars movies, like in a good way and stuff. And I think so. I don't think it's as impressive. It didn't impact the universe. I think as much. It's kind of its own little pocket story for the most part.
Alien should be though.
What?
Alien films. When you do another Alien film, I don't feel like you need to do that though. You don't need to add on to a bunch of shit. You don't need to add on, like, include all this shit, because that's what Ridley did. That's what Ridley did. And people regressed it. People did not like that.
Well, people were mixed on it. They didn't completely reject it. They were mixed on it, and
when those movies came out, people did not like them. More people did not like them and were mixed.
They were mixed. Yeah, they were mixed.
Now, if you look at it now, Prometheus is the favorable one. A lot of people love Prometheus, and I love that movie too. Covenant's kind of
I mean, look, I defend Covenant. Look, I say Prometheus and Covenant are like the like Last Jedis of the franchise. You know, they take you in places that fans don't expect, and for some that don't really want. You know, you've talked a little bit about, like, we don't. You know, there's a mystery to the xenomorph. We don't need to know its origin, where it came from, and all this other stuff. But at the same time. Yeah, at the same time, Ridley had different ideas, obviously, and I liked a lot of them. And I while I had issues with execution and things, for me it really expanded the universe, and it really was, like, really interesting. And I'll be honest, even with Covenant, I enjoyed Covenant and stuff, and I think a lot of people would have still gone and seen that third film to see how that story would have capped off.
Covenant did not make a lot of money.
Yeah, no, it did not. It did not make a lot of money, but also that movie cost a lot of money too. So yeah, I think this movie, Alien Romulus, is projected to make about $400 million on an 80 million. Yeah, it's already at two something on an $80 million budget. So I mean, they're absolutely going to continue this. Yeah, they're going to absolutely continue this in some way, shape, or form for sure.
We'll get into that. When we talk about the movie more.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I thought it was good. You know, I was a little disappointed. You know, like I said, copycat scenes, just other certain things. Other than that, it was an enjoyable movie, and it was a good callback to the originals and stuff. Doesn't really affect things too much until we talk about a possible theory that maybe does but doesn't. So I don't know. So, but yeah. Those are my initial reactions.
Getting to more spoilers.
Yeah, do you have a spoiler warning? You should put a spoiler warning. You want me to make you a spoiler banner?
I can do it. It takes me 2 seconds. There we go. Spoilers. Okay. So I get what you're saying about the shots and stuff. That didn't bother me. Seeing shots of aliens in a secluded space running upside down, I don't care. That's what aliens do.
That's not my only shot. I mean, you know that.
No, like, if you let me finish what I'm saying, I'll get to that. But no, like, I don't care about that, because that's what xenomorphs do. If they did the same exact sequence of, like, oh yeah, where are they? They're gonna come through the doors, and they look up in the vents, and there they are. Yeah, I'd be like, what are you doing? That's from Aliens. What are you doing? They didn't do that. They never did that once. They never copied.
No, they just took the upside down shot of that. They copied her walking out with the smoke and the fog, him teaching her how to use the gun, the shaky cam when they enter, shaky cam and the entrance of the ship, of the tight ship. Everybody kind of walking.
If those shots,
there was a couple.
Bad,
sorry.
No, if those shots looked bad, then yeah, I'd be like, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they didn't look bad. No, everything looks good.
They make sense. They make sense for the movie. It just makes sense. I don't care about that.
But I was also like, I've seen that before.
I mean, you've seen xenomorphs before.
I know, but I've seen those shots before. I've seen those I've seen this recreate. Even the thing with the dude getting trapped in the experiment room with the face huggers and stuff. You know, kind of similar to Ripley and Newt getting trapped in the room with the face huggers, you know, and
just amped it.
Similar scenarios and things like that.
More face huggers and water. There you go. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I just wasn't crazy about it, you know.
But no, that's not my problem with the callbacks and stuff. My problem with the callbacks is the line, the "get away from me, you bitch" line. I know a lot of people are memeing that. A lot of people are memeing that right now, which I don't really care. I feel like that's the worst part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's the absolute worst part of the movie. I really enjoy this movie, but that part really made me like shake my head a little bit. I don't care about shots and stuff like that. I really don't mind that. It doesn't bother me at all. When you do stuff like that, that's when it bothers me. I didn't like that at all. I felt like it was completely unnecessary. It didn't need to be in the movie. In my opinion, I'm not trying to act like I know better what this movie needed, what this movie didn't need, like the Twitter warrior, because I'm not going to do that. If they felt like if they wanted that for this movie, I respect that. I hated it.
Yeah,
I fucking hated it. But that's the only really major thing about the movie that I don't like at all. The other stuff is kind of the characters. I didn't really care about any of them except for Andy and Rain, which I think is the point. I think that's the point, because I think this is kind of like Evil Dead 2013, where you don't really care about any of those characters except for the brother and the sister.
Yeah.
I think everyone
you kind of care about the Isabella, that she's pregnant and stuff. And,
I like her character.
Her scream was pretty great too. Like her.
I didn't hate any character other than the character you're supposed to hate.
Yeah.
And that's the I can't think of his name right now.
The cousin of Isabella.
Yes. Well, no, not her baby daddy. Her baby
daddy.
Yeah,
that's her cousin.
In the water. There's something in the water.
That's her cousin.
In real life?
No, in the film.
No, they're together.
In the film, that's her cousin.
That's her baby daddy.
Freddy already confirmed. Yes, it's her baby daddy, and it's also her cousin.
Well, it's space. Who cares? You're fucking prisoners.
Game of Thrones.
What the fuck else are you gonna do?
Damn. That baby's gonna be born with one ear.
I mean, he was born with something. He was born with something, that's for sure. But yeah, those three characters were the best parts of the movie. I didn't hate any of the characters, except for the one that you're supposed to hate, which he did a great job. Like his characters, which I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like, if you don't like a character and you despise them in a movie, especially a horror movie, it's mostly done on purpose.
Yeah.
You want people to root to die for, or for to die, and you want people not to die. Like, I want to, that fucking asshole jock, I want him to die. He was that in this movie of all horror movies. Like, that's just the typical, quid pro quo of horror. You're going to have those people that you don't give a fuck about. You're like, yeah, I can't wait to see them. And they get a really gnarly death, and this guy got a really gnarly death. I will say, him getting melted by acid, that was fucking cool. That was really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And the cocoon was really cool. I know a lot of people have an issue with that. I don't give a shit.
No, it's all right. I didn't have an issue with it.
I mean, we were talking with Bob last night, and I kind of do I want to be more mystified by the fact that, they hatch out of the chest, they, skin comes off, like a lizard.
Right,
and then they become
a shed.
Right. Do I want some mystery with that? And do I want to know everything that happens? No. But was this cool as fuck? Yes, it was cool as fuck. And it was really creepy and really cool. So I like that scene a lot. The practical effects, again, I can't understate this enough. Amazing practical effects. Amazing CGI too. I know there's not a lot of CGI in the movie, but when there is CGI, like the space stuff, fucking immaculate. It looks really great. And I will say this film does a great job at doing what Alien 1 did, is the isolation of space, the creepiness of space, the fucking danger of space, all encapsulated in this movie, just like they did with the first movie and the second one too. Even though the second one's based on a planet, it still has that factor of like, yeah, what's out there is terrifying. It's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
You never know. But yeah, this film did a great job with the atmosphere. Like everything about that was beautiful, and it really was creepy. Let's get into the big one that people are really talking about right now, and that's our boy Ash being in the movie. Well, it's not Ash, but
Rooks.
It is a replica of Rook. So I don't get why people are okay with David, Weyland-Yutani, Bishop having multiple androids. Weyland-Yutani, that's what Weyland-Yutani does. They have a line of androids that look alike. They don't work out, decommission, fucking,
on to the next design,
or they're like iPhones. They're like the iPhone. This iPhone, outdated. No, we're not going to update it anymore. We're not going to bother fucking giving it the new stuff. We're just going to let it fucking walk around and rust until it dies. It makes complete sense.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense why he would look like Ash in this movie.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. But the CGI, 2 shots. Only really 2 shots of it look janky to me. Which, if you're going to have de-aging, in your movies, I can't think of, there's maybe 1 or 2 where it looks like, yeah, this looks immaculate. But it's no matter how good it looks or how bad it looks, nothing is ever going to replace that uncanny valley effect. You're always going to, you're in your mind, in your eyes, in your brain, that is telling you, no, that's not real. It might look good, but you'll never get over the fact that it's not real.
Right.
So it's never.
But but for him, I think that's fine because he's an android. For me, I'll be honest, I didn't really have much of an issue at first. I could tell it was an animatronic for the most part, and that they did a good job. And with the CGI touch-ups and stuff, there were a couple that was a little jarring, like the first shot of him where you're like, whoa. You know, because they do de-age or a little bit and you know have to move his facial features a bit. But for the most part, like, it's an animatronic and you can tell, and it works because he's an android. He's half an android. He's literally cut in half. You know, like he's robotic. So for me, it didn't do anything, you know, as far as that. It just kind of like that was another thing that I actually thought looked kind of good at times because it looked like those, like the original films, you know, like those 80s, you know, type. So yeah, I thought I didn't have an issue with that at all.
No, especially I think Tim brought it up the other day too when we were talking. Like when he's on the TV, when he's on the monitor, I just love how 70s it feels. It just feels so 70s. It feels like the original movie, and it also calls back to Alien Isolation because when you have comms on Isolation, it's very much like that. It's very staticky. You know, the screen, you know, is very small. And it's very staticky, and the quality shit. So I that's what I love about Alien 2 is that it's so advanced in the future, but everything is so fucking retro 70s. Like the camera quality, you would think that there are light years in the future, you know, or that far in the future that they have like 8K quality cameras.
Right.
You know? But that's what I love about the franchise too, is like it just has that retro vibe to it, which I adore. So yeah, like having Ash, Rook, whatever you want to call him, I'm just gonna call him Ash. Ash 2, how about that? Ash 2 was good. I loved him in the movie. He's one of my favorite parts of the movie, to be honest. I had no issues with him being in the movie at all. My biggest thing, and this is a fault of mine, but this could also be something that could be revealed later on. So I ran this by you, and I think this theory is really plausible. I really like this theory. And if this is true, I'd like it a lot more. I'd like it even more. But this is what I thought in the movie. What I thought in the movie was David obviously at the end of Covenant. David obviously escapes the planet and knocks out Walter on, you know, whatever planet they're on. You know, impregnates whatever the fuck her name is, a shitty character. I can't stand a Covenant.
Right.
What's her name? Water, whatever.
Catherine Watt. I don't remember what.
Catherine Watterson. I don't like her in that movie. Let me rephrase that. I don't like her in the end of the movie. The end of the movie, I do not like at all. But, you know, I thought that in this movie that this was Walter, that Ash, because for people who don't know, there's always been a theory about David being Ash in Alien 1, or them being sort of connected in some way, because they do kind of look alike.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense because Ash in the first movie is so adamant. You know, obviously he got orders from Wayland to, you know, keep the alien safe, you know, bring it back home so we can experiment on it, you know, all that stuff. So I thought that that's what they were doing. I thought that that's what they were doing in this movie. Or maybe that this was David and that Walter was maybe the one, you know, I'm getting it mixed up. I thought maybe David was the one who died in the first Alien, and Walter is this android. That this is Walter in this movie. So that would make sense for me. I like it a lot if they did that, but it's not going to change anything about how much I like it, anything like that for now. You know, that's just like a cool little thing in my head that I thought of. That would be a cool connection. And I feel like this movie, because how much they connected Prometheus and Covenant, I thought that would make sense to kind of have that third stake in the ground for David to kind of end his. Simultaneously, you're starting something new for Alien, but at the same time, you're closing a book for what was behind this before it came out. So, yeah. I like that. Now let's get into the other controversial stuff, because I just talked about it, the Prometheus and Covenant connections. I've been talking a lot, so I'll let you go ahead and give your thoughts first about like how you felt how they connected Prometheus and Covenant, the execution of that, and the third act.
I thought it was all right. I mean, I thought it was a nice, you know, I thought it was actually pretty good. I thought it was one of the stronger acts of the film for the most part. I did like that it kind of, you know, even the bad ones like 3 and 4 and stuff, that it acknowledges, you know, all of the films in the franchise and stuff, and then kind of for those of us like me that were kind of attached to Prometheus and Covenant and wanted to see the rest of that story, kind of gave us, you know, a little bit of I guess the results of what that would have been in some sense, you know, like but yeah, I mean, I thought it was probably the strongest act. The suspense was great, the action was great, you know, it's where the kills got really strong and stuff. The birth sequence, you know, some good stuff in there for sure. Very thrilling, you know, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for sure.
No, I do have to honor this mention real quick. Isabel Merced is officially a scream queen. She's officially a scream queen to me, because that scream she gave in the fucking movie was like, that was a great scream, and I applaud the marketing. I really applaud the marketing for not including that scream, for like muting it. That not only is it a great trailer, but what a great choice, because they saved that moment for the movie, and it was worth it. What a great scream. That sounds weird, but I love, you know, when people do that. You know, Jamie Lee Curtis is number one, obviously, but you know, there's so many rare times in movies that I can think of that come out now that have great screams like that. So yeah, great moment, great moments. That whole moment was great. For, you know, flying in fucking like orbit around the ship, which I know people were complaining about, but it makes complete sense because they're in orbit, you dumb fucks. The weird part, now this is another downfall of the movie before I get into the Prometheus stuff, because I totally forgot about mentioning this.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing when the plot is moving in a movie. I don't think anybody does.
Sure.
But I got that vibe as soon as they landed in the fucking hangar and the timer for the ship blowing up started. I was like, oh, okay, now I feel kind of rushed. Now I feel like, oh yeah, there's about maybe 25, 30 minutes left. And then we're done. So exactly. I didn't like that. I didn't like feeling that. That scene, great. But I didn't like feeling that. So yeah. But yeah, the getting to the Prometheus and Covenant stuff, I really like how they connected all that stuff. It's my favorite part of the movie. I know a lot of people don't, which is completely fine because, you know, to each their own. But yeah, I thought that was one of the coolest parts of the movie, how they connected the black goo, and how David, whether this is David or not, or whether David's around anymore, who the fuck knows, but he got what he wanted. He got the perfect organism, which is what he wanted to make. And that was this terrifying fucking thing. I don't know what the fuck
engineer looking, yeah.
It was the design for this is amazingly horrifying. And I love how consistent it feels with the xenomorph too, because Geiger and the people who created how xenomorphs look designed xenomorphs to look robotic and mechanical. So if you zoom in on a xenomorph's thigh or leg or something, you'll see these like little nodules in their bodies. They did that with this too, with the engineer too, which was creepy as fuck. So that whole stuff was great. I kind of, like we were talking about earlier, I kind of wish we didn't get any more Ripley ripoffs anymore, and we didn't get any more aliens being shoved out into space. But didn't care about that. I don't care if that he was shot in space. That I don't care. A lot of people are complaining about that. Could there have been a cooler way, a more creative way of killing it? Yeah. But I'm fine with the way they killed it. But yeah, really creepy. When that whole birth sequence was disturbing. Great theater experience, but also horrible because people were fucking screaming in my ear, which I hated, but I also was really happy inside to hear that because I'm like, I fucking love when normies and people like, well, not even normies. Some people like react like that to like a genuinely scary scene.
Right.
It would bug me if I'm watching a movie. I'm like, this isn't scary at all. Like I saw The Nun by myself. I went and saw the first Nun when it came out by myself. There were people gasping and clutching their pearls in that movie. I didn't move once.
Yeah.
This is not scary at all. This movie's not scary at all. So I love having those types of experiences. And Fede Alvarez, you officially made, one of my experiences worth it for that.
For sure.
Yeah, all that stuff was great. I don't really have much to say about the movie anymore because we pretty much gone through the whole thing. Except for, franchise ranking and sequel possibly. This movie is making a lot of money right now, which I love.
Yeah, it's gonna make a bunch of money.
I'd love to see Alien making a bunch of money, especially after the last two. And especially after, we talked about earlier. I almost ate shit. But yeah, Alien has not been at a good place for a long time, and neither has Predator really. Predator has had more ups and downs. Alien has more downs, for sure. Yeah. So to see this movie make a lot of money and to see them potentially greenlight more, I'm fucking all in. That's regardless of Prey and Alien, Romulus, regardless of what I thought of them. Like if I hated these movies, which I don't, I could still be really happy that the fact that they were successful and they're making more. That's all I want.
Yeah.
That's all I want more Alien. I want more Predator. I want that stuff. I don't want it to go away because we haven't seen it in a long time. And the things that we did see from it were not that great. So this was refreshing for the franchise. So with Prey, I think Prey did a better job at adding stuff to the franchise. I think this movie added some original stuff to the franchise, which I like a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't think this movie is completely derivative, off of every single Alien film. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of stuff is like, the last third act, the resurrection. There's some Alien 3 in there. There's some Alien 2, Alien 1, Prometheus. The whole franchise is in this movie.
Yeah.
Which I love and I don't like at some points. Yeah, regardless of what you think about this or any other or Prey, you as a fan, as a diehard fan of these franchises, it makes me happy to see these become successful and be given more movies. Now the thing is, are you interested in seeing a sequel to these characters? That's my question.
It depends on what they do. I mean, again, you didn't. I'm not necessarily attached to them. But I'm sure they're gonna bring them back. I mean, they leave it on a cliffhanger of if they're gonna make it to that planet or not. So, I mean, yeah, I'm sure they do, and yeah, of course, I'd watch it. It's aliens. I love aliens. So, but I'm curious to see where the franchise goes after this for sure.
Yeah, I am too. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a sequel to these characters.
Yeah.
I can't necessarily say I'm jumping the gun to see them again,
Right.
or because I feel like this is a nice just one-off movie. But in the history of this is a nice one-off movie. It'd be nice if they didn't do more. They're going to do more, which they should. I absolutely want that, and they should.
You know what? I wouldn't mind if they gave Freddy that idea of well, I guess you can't really now. Well, I guess you can. Yeah, you can still kind of exclude Aliens 3 and 4 and make
he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that.
I know. Yeah, you're right, because he loves all the movies and whatever.
As you should. I love all the movies too. I love the entire franchise.
I love most of them, except
am I gonna watch some of them over some of the other ones? No.
And I'll be honest, 3, I think everybody would be fine with getting rid of 3 because of that decision of killing off Ripley and off screen and that bullshit. And
no, the 3 director's cut 3 is good.
It's okay. Good. I wouldn't say good.
4, no. I don't like this gatekeeping argument of let's retcon this. No, we've seen it done in so many franchises. I'm so fucking done with that shit.
And it worked.
No, it doesn't.
When it works well, it works.
It didn't work for Halloween.
The first hell sure as hell did for the first one.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
All 3 movies.
I said for the first one. I said for the first one.
You can't just say one of them worked and the other 2.
That one first. Yeah, that one worked. What was the other one that they got rid of?
Because one is not just one. One comes with 2. 2 comes with 3. They're all heavily connected. They all rely on.
Well, this would be different. This would be because this would be kind of their final set for their final Aliens thing.
2018 worked, and if they ended it there, I would have loved it.
Yeah,
but they didn't. They didn't.
Well, that would have to end. That would have to end their story.
They greenlit a trilogy without even making the first movie. And when the first movie did make money and it did do numbers, they were like, "Oh yeah, let's make 2 and 3 back to back." They made both movies back to back. 3 was filmed and shot for like 2.5 fucking years, and they reshot the whole fucking movie pretty much. So I'm sick of that shit because it might work for one movie, but then you start to do more movies, and I don't like.
I think for Aliens,
it would work if that convoluted game. I don't like that because that's what Star Wars does. And Star Wars is a fucking convoluted mess of a franchise. And because of doing that, because they cherry pick what's canon and what isn't canon. I don't like that.
That's a whole different
that would be like, baby, that would be like saying Star Wars needs to retcon the prequels or the sequels. Like, that's not going to happen.
No, that's
no matter. And I will say this, no matter what you think of Alien 4 and Alien 3, they did something for the franchise, and it's important. Like those 2 movies are integral to Ripley's story and where it ends. And not only that, but Weyland-Yutani and all that stuff. So like, I don't want to see that with Alien. I don't want to see that. I know you might, and some other people might, but I don't, because that just makes for the franchise more convoluted and messy. And I don't like doing that. I don't like doing that. I don't like having to feel like I have to pick what franchises I should watch because they're bad and good. I don't like that. Watch all of them. Watch all of them, accept them for what they are, and move on. You don't need to decanonize them. You don't need to fuck with the canon of them. That's when you start getting into territory that's more dangerous than what this movie did. And this movie did take a lot of risks, which I applaud it for. Most of them landed. Some of them didn't. But no, I don't like that. I don't like that idea.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, that's Alien Romulus. not much more I could say about it other than it's a pretty good movie. Enjoyable alien film for once, outside of Covenant, which I fucking didn't really enjoy at all. And as much, listen, I can say this too. As much as I love Prometheus and Covenant, they're not fun movies to watch. They're not enjoyable movies to watch. Like, if I want to watch an enjoyable movie, a fun movie, well, not really a fun movie, but like a really enjoyable, thrilling film, I'll watch Alien or Aliens. I'm not going to put on Prometheus or Covenant.
Right.
Those movies are not what I want out of Alien. They're not what I want.
Well, I'll be honest. Even though I actually disagree. I think they are very entertaining and very enthralling. Even when they're bad, especially Covenant, because it's kind of laughably bad. You can have a good time with it. And Covenant. Even this for its runtime has drags at points, and stuff.
Dialogue scenes, yeah.
And so, yeah, there are. You know what? I definitely put Prometheus above it. You know, then probably Romulus and Covenant, but.
Getting into the franchise, so can you bring up that link I sent you too?
Oh, yeah.
And share it. So we're going to get into the rankings of the franchise. Now, this film was out. The latest Alien film's out. We can rank it. This is my Letterboxd, by the way. So if anyone wanting to follow me on Letterboxd, I'll put the link in the description so you can check it out there. I have a bunch of lists and stuff, including this one. But yeah, this is basically my Alien list. The franchise, Aliens, Romulus, Prometheus, Covenant, Alien 3, 4, AVP 1, AVP 2. So yeah, I think this is the third best Alien film. So yeah, that's my ranking of the franchise. What's your ranking? I know you don't have a Letterboxd list, but I know that you have a ranking. So
yeah, I have. Well, I have a Letterboxd. I do have Letterboxd.
Well, I know you have that. I know you don't have like a list made on there though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for me it goes Aliens, Alien, Prometheus, Romulus, Covenant, 3, and then Resurrection. And I don't talk about those two. I don't put in the franchise. Those last two
are included.
But if I had to include them, Requiem is worse. So yeah, the first AVP and then Requiem.
Seems about justified list. Yeah, that's all we really have to say about Alien Romulus.
Hell yeah.
Enjoyable film. I hope they continue to make stuff like this. But if they do continue going forward, forget all of the callbacks.
Yeah.
Forget it. You did it in this movie, don't do it again. This movie is kind of refreshing in that sense of like, yeah, it does new stuff, but it also kind of harkens back with some nostalgia from the first two.
Sure.
So I don't want to see that done again twice. So I feel like you have something good here. If you execute it well, you could really exceed what this movie is. So I hope they do that. And I hope even Fede comes back and does another movie. I would love to see him come back and do another.
I think he will with the success of this. I mean,
and I'd love for him and Dan Trachtenberg to make a new AVP movie down the road. Not anytime soon, because I kind of want Alien and Predator to breathe on their own for a while. Maybe in like about 5 to 10 years, I'd be like, yeah, it's time for Alien. They're gonna be on screen together, whether you like it or not. But yeah, that's I hope they do that. I hope they continue it. Regardless if it's these same characters, just do more Alien. I want to see more Alien. And make a fucking Alien Isolation sequel, you sick fucks. I know the game wasn't that successful or wasn't that.
That's a movie I'd like to see.
I don't want to see that movie. I have the game. I can play it anytime.
Or a movie with Ripley's daughter.
I don't want that. I got to see the game for it. That's fine.
I didn't play the game. Hey, there's an audience. Let's not get into the gamer. Into the gamer.
Is 10 years old.
Let's not get into the game
is
adaptation.
10 years old.
Debate. I haven't played it.
10
I want to
years
see
old.
that adaptation.
Catch the fuck up. It's 10 years old.
It's for me. It's for me and Mike.
You can
Mike,
watch. You can
Mike,
watch
if you're watching,
cutscenes.
it's for me and you, buddy. We'll go watch Alien Isolation, the film adaptation, together.
No, I mean I'd see it, but I wouldn't be okay with it.
Me and Mike, we'll be all for it.
The game is 10 years old. Like, if you haven't played it and you're an Alien fan, you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit.
I just haven't had time. Okay.
It's 10 years old.
I've been busy.
It's got remasters. It's gotten DLCs. Bitch, catch up.
I've been busy.
Catch up.
Oh,
Shut the fuck up. Come
all
on.
right.
You need to play more horror games too. You can get the fuck
I
off Fortnite.
don't have time to play games
Get the
right
fuck
now.
off Fortnite. Get off Fortnite.
I just played Alien on Fortnite.
Play Resident Evil 2, the game I gave you,
Christ.
and play Alien Isolation.
I don't have time for either.
Two of the best horror games ever made, and I guarantee you'll shit your pants. Both games. I need to see
I have
you
like
both. I
5
need to see
games.
you play them both. I need to. We should record.
There's so many games I have to play. It's. I mean.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But yeah, we should definitely record you playing them because I know you're gonna freak out playing those games. It's gonna be beautiful.
Absolutely not.
Oh, you are. I can't wait. But yeah, that's pretty much all we have to say about Alien Romulus. Go check it out. It's still in theaters. Be on digital soon, I imagine. I can't wait to watch it again. Because now we all have a new watch order for the movies now. So that's something the movie did too. It kind of established a new watch order for the franchise, which I like. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, do I like the fact? I mean, I can still do this. Aliens back to back. One of the greatest double features you can ever have. But a triple feature, this would be a really cool triple feature to have. And I can't wait to do that one night.
Yeah.
Just have
absolutely.
one day dedicated to watching all 3 of them.
Absolutely.
But yeah, how I feel about that scene also encapsulate what David Lynch feels when he was asked this question. That's
bullshit. That's how I feel. Total fucking bullshit.
That's how I felt when he said, "Get away from me, you bitch."
Oh God, yeah, that was not.
And this is
good.
how I felt too. Thank you, Paul.
You're a fucking moron.
Dear God.
All right. Without further ado, have a good one, everyone. Thanks for checking out the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Austin has a channel as well, Border Clean Studios. I'll put the link. I'll make sure to put the links in the description. I know I didn't do it with the last video, but I'll do it for this one. I'll put his Letterboxd and my Letterboxd in there, and also Twitter. So yeah, go check those out. Much love, everyone, and have a great rest of your evening.